Hi everyone, and welcome to English for You. I'm Pat.
And I'm Mike.
And today we're going to be looking at some interesting phrases and idioms in English, but all of these come from card games. Are you much of a card player?
No.
No?
Not really, no.
Poker, any of those kind of gambling games?
Yeah, I mean, I've played them before. I know the basic rules, but no, it's never really been a big thing for me to play cards. It's probably good. I've kept most of my money in my pocket. I've only been to a casino once, but I didn't bet any money on anything.
Okay.
But I know that people like them. I do find them interesting. It's just something I've never really played a whole lot. How about you?
No, I'm not really very good at any of those card games. I can't really count them that well. They're good fun things. There's a few games I often play with family members when we go on vacation.
That can be fun.
Yeah, or play a bit of solitaire to kill some time.
A game you can play just by yourself.
Right,
that can be fun.
Something like that. But I don't go in for the sort of big money poker play.
Right.
Anything like that.
Sure.
But a lot of these games, and just like any kind of game or hobby or sport, different phrases and words and slang terms build up around these kinds of activities. And some of them kind of enter the real life from those popular games, sports, whatever. And that's what we're going to look into in today's article. Let's check it out.
Reading.
Play your cards right and learn these card game idioms. Have you ever been tricked by an April Fool's article? Not everything you read in April is true, but don't worry, this one is completely above board. Above board. Above board means free from deceit. But in the past, above board was to keep one's hands above the table to show one wasn't cheating in a card game. Most of us like to play games of some sort. Did you know, though, that card games have influenced the English language? Let's take a look at two other idioms that come from card games. Trump card. A trump card is one that ranks higher than any other card. However, the term also means something that is used to gain an advantage. Example: Miley's dinner party wasn't going well until she played her trump card, a beautiful dessert that everyone loved. Showdown. This refers to a contest to settle an argument. Its origins are in poker. A showdown occurs at the end of a round. Remaining players show their cards to see who the winner is. Example: The two cowboys prepared to draw their guns in a deadly showdown.
So the article begins by saying, have you ever been tricked by an April Fool's article? Well, yes, this very month.
True.
The one about pets that can think.
Yes, that's absolutely true. That was a very good article, but of course,
I believe that.
None of it was true because it was on April Fool's Day, April 1st, often in newspapers or magazines or online. You might see a story on that day and only on that day every year that just seems impossible to believe, completely crazy, because it is not true. It is impossible to believe because it is not true. As the article says, not everything you read in April is true, especially April 1st. But don't worry, this one is completely above board. Okay, we've got that expression, above board. Now, doesn't that kind of mean honest, telling the truth? Pretty much exactly, yes. So this is the first idiom or word we're going to look at today, above board. It's all one word. We're saying this article is above board, and in the article it says, above board means free from deceit. Now, if something is free from something, it doesn't have that thing. It doesn't contain that thing. It is not involved with that thing at all. There is a clear distance. If you say, I'm free from pain, you are not suffering any pain at all. If you're free from debt, no, you don't owe anybody any money. Now here, we're talking about being free from deceit. And what is deceit? Well, deceit is basically something that is not true. A lie, something that is dishonest, something that is not telling you the facts. In fact, they might be trying to trick you. April Fool's articles are supposed to trick you in a fun way. So a lot of the article will be deceit. It will be not true. They're saying things that you shouldn't believe because they're not true. So if something is free from deceit, it is basically totally honest. It is telling the truth. Your parents probably want you to be free from deceit. Don't lie to people, in other words, because deceit, as we mentioned, is basically trying to trick someone, trying to lie to someone, trying to tell them things that are not true. So basically on April 1st, April Fool's Day, if you read the news, you should expect to find a story with some deceit. They're trying to trick you. It's April Fool's Day. But every other day of the year, the things you read in the newspaper should be free from deceit. They should be honest. They should be the truth. Or, to use the word from our article there, they should be above board. Okay.
And like all the idioms in this article, this comes from card games.
Above board, okay.
Right, let's explain. The article says, but in the past, above board was to keep one's hands above the table to show one wasn't cheating in a card game.
As if the table is a board and your hands are on or above the board, not below the board or the table, getting out your special winning cards, and cheating and things like that. So if something's above board, it's honest, because of course from cards, if your hands are below the board or under the board, you could be doing something tricky or dishonest. There could be some deceit going on below the board. Back to the article, most of us like to play games of some sort. Sure, a lot of us like to play games, and a lot of these really old games, from chess to the Japanese game Go to many other card games, they're very, very old games.
Right, and the article then kind of brings it back to how we introduced today's article.
Okay.
Did you know, though, that card games have influenced the English language?
Interesting. Well, many old activities have influenced our language, right? Especially things from games and stuff like that. So let's take a look at two other idioms that come from card games. So yes, we're looking at card game-based idioms. What is an idiom? Well, basically an idiom is a phrase or set of words that has a specific meaning that's not necessarily related to the individual word's meanings. There's something more going on than just what you're reading there, and which is common in speech and generally understood by native speakers. So these sort of expressions like raining cats and dogs or something like that. Of course, cats and dogs aren't falling from the sky like rain, but when it's raining hard, really hard, we might use that expression, and it means more than just the words. There's another idea that lots of people would understand.
Yeah, like I think in Chinese people talk about, I think it's red rain.
Red rain,
to mean something that never happens or is really unusual, something like that.
Okay.
So let's look at one of these idioms. The first one is trump card. Now this, luckily, has nothing to do with the former US president.
Not Donald Trump's business card?
No, it is not.
Okay, good.
We learn that a trump card is one that ranks higher than any other card. So a lot of games, there'll be one of those suits, the hearts, the diamonds, the clubs, the spades, and you'll choose, okay, for this part of the game, hearts beat anything. A low heart can beat an ace of the diamonds or a king of spades.
So it's the most powerful card you can have. You will always win if you use that card.
Right, and it ranks higher. Let's find out what rank means as a verb. So we said these trump cards rank higher than the other cards, no matter what number is on them. And if you rank things, you place them in some kind of order. You put something at the top. This is the best, the highest card, the strongest card, the most valuable card. And you slowly go down. This one's good, but it's not as good. This one's okay. This one's not so good. This is the lowest ranked card. You put all of that in an order. Like think of the league tables in soccer tournaments. This team's the best team. They're at the top of the table. This team is not so good. They're down the bottom. Or like songs on the chart. If you rank the number one song, you're at the top of the charts. That kind of thing. Here's an example. This university basketball team is ranked third best in the country. So only 2 teams are thought to be better. So that's a trump card, but we can also use this idiom outside of a card game.
That's right. However, the article explains the term trump card also means something that is used to gain an advantage. Not in the world of cards, but in any other sort of competition. If you have an advantage, this noun basically means you have an edge. There's something that's giving you a little bit more that will help you to win than the people that you're playing against. If you've been practicing really hard, that will give you an advantage. If you've been studying for your test, that would give you an advantage over the people who didn't study. And of course, there are things that we can control that could also give us an advantage. For example, Allie's height gives her an advantage against most other volleyball players. She's just taller, so that will give her an advantage. And it might be her trump card if she's trying to, block a shot by a shorter player. She's just taller. She will always have that advantage.
So how can this phrase trump card be used outside of card games in another real-life situation? Well, our article shows us. It says, example, Miley's dinner party wasn't going well until she played her trump card, a beautiful dessert that everyone loved. So it wasn't going well, people weren't talking much, the food was only okay, then she played the strongest card she had, a beautiful dessert, everyone loved it, the dinner party was a success. So in that example, in our article, we use the word dessert. And a dessert is a sweet or sweet dish of some sort. You eat it after your main meal. Cakes, brownies, ice creams, a plate of fruit, some cheese and crackers, something like that. Anything that you eat after the meal that has a different taste to what you were mainly eating, so you get this nice contrast. Here's an example. We decided to try a Greek dessert called a baklava.
That's a good dessert. I like that one. All right, let's move on to our next word that comes from the world of card playing. Here it is, showdown. What is a showdown? Oh yeah, this refers to a contest to settle an argument. We can use showdown in a few different ways, but basically when you have one player or one person against another person, there's no one else maybe helping them out, and they're gonna decide who wins and who loses in this one action or this one game or whatever. That would be a showdown. It refers to, as it says, a contest to settle an argument. Kind of a dramatic, kind of really exciting way. All right, when something refers to something, basically we show the meaning of something. We show a connection of something. There might not be a link there. There might not be a connection in your mind, but we're kind of pointing out actually there is, and we're talking about it. We're bringing your attention to it, something like that.
Okay, and here the word showdown refers to a contest. A contest, it could be a competition. It could be a fight. It could be one person against another, one team against another. Winner takes all. Think of almost all the Marvel and superhero movies.
Yeah.
Almost all of them are going to end with some kind of showdown, a fight between the hero or heroes and the bad guys in a big battle right at the end for the final half hour or so of the movie. That is the showdown.
A contest to save the world.
Yes, that's the kind of contest we mean here. One person or one group against another with something on the line. So it could be this, or a showdown could be something to settle an argument.
And what is an argument? Well, basically, it's when two people disagree about something. They don't have the same opinion about something, and they're not willing to sort of go, okay, I don't really care. We'll do what you want. No, they do care. They think that what they want to do or their idea is the better one, and so they're having this sort of kind of like a fight, but not a physical fight. No one's kicking or hitting or punching or anything like that. Arguments should be done in a kind of calm way, use words and ideas and things like that. So we're not talking about two people hitting each other. We're talking about two people saying, well, I think this. Well, I don't agree with you. I think that. That kind of thing. Hopefully arguments never become fights, because often that's, again, not a good way to settle an argument. For example, Brian and his wife are having an argument about what color to paint their bedroom. Brian really wants it to be blue. His wife really wants it to be yellow. They both think they're right, so they're going to keep having this argument until one person says, okay, we'll do what you want to do.
Okay, so what about this word showdown?
Yeah.
We see the phrase's origins are in poker. Okay. An origin is where something comes from. It could mean the place, could kind of mean the time or the group that originally invented something, came up with something. What's the origin of this tradition, this dish, this game? How, when, where did it all begin? For example, we could say jazz music has its origins in the city of New Orleans. And so the origins of this particular phrase, showdown, are in poker.
Okay, a very well-known and popular card game that's actually given us many other expressions. We might see some of them.
Full house.
Full house,
Yeah.
a flush, busted, things like that. So poker is a very popular game. It's a game usually that's played with 4 people. There are many different types of poker, Texas Hold'em and, many others that I can't think of right now. And one of the things that people do like about poker, it's about combining your cards to make the strongest possible hand, to have the strongest possible combinations. But there's also a little bit of lying and pretending to have a really good cards when maybe you don't. So how does a showdown happen in poker?
Well, the article says a showdown occurs at the end of a round.
That makes sense.
The round is people are kind of gambling and saying, well, I bet mine's good. I'll bet this much money. I'll take one more card each. That will go around the table a few times. And it's at the end of each of that round, there's a showdown. And what happens?
Interesting. So everyone's made all their bets. No one will bet more money. Now it's time to show your cards. Remaining players show their cards to see who the winner is. This is actually a term they use in poker, right? To show is to show the other players your cards. I guess when it's a showdown, it's kind of at the end of the game. Nothing else will happen after this. The winner will be decided. Everyone else will lose, and that'll be it. That will be the end of the game because they're showing their remaining cards. Only the cards that they have left. They won't be able to take any more new cards. Remaining is basically the things that are left. One thing that's left, lots of things that are left. If you have a lot of homework remaining, you have a lot of remaining homework to finish, that means you have a lot of homework still left to do. The remaining people at the end of the party might stay late to help the host clean the party or clean up the house or where the party was. Everyone else has gone home, but there are a few people left. Those are the remaining people at the party. Here's a good example. I'm tired. Let's wash the remaining dirty dishes tomorrow.
Oh, good.
We've already washed 70, 80% of the dishes. There's just a few things left. These remaining dishes, let's do them tomorrow.
Okay, so how can we use showdown in a non-card game example?
Okay.
Well, apart from all the Marvel movies, that is.
Right.
Here we go. Example, the 2 cowboys prepared to draw their guns in a deadly showdown.
Oh, they're facing each other. The one's going to shoot at the same time as the other, and the final person will win and the other person will go to the hospital or something like that. I guess we could also think about soccer when they have penalty shots.
Yeah.
That's kind of a showdown between the goalie in the net and the person shooting the ball. None of the other team members can join in, and a goal will be decided on this one action or play. So very dramatic and exciting. Just a few of the examples of cool idioms that come from card games. Let's go to our For You Chat question right now.
For You Chat.
So our question is, what other idioms from card games do you know? Explain what they are.
Well, actually, I don't play cards very often, as I mentioned, but I know in the game of 21 or blackjack, if you want another card, you might say, hit me, right? People might say, hit me. And people also say that when they're kind of expecting news or expecting information, maybe sort of shocking, surprising. I've got news for you. And when you're ready for that news, and you're not quite sure if it's going to be good news or bad news, like in cards, you're not sure if you'll get a good card or a bad card, but you're showing you're ready, you might say, okay, hit me with your news. I'm ready to take it, good or bad. I will be okay.
Yeah, full house was one we mentioned a bit earlier. In poker, a full house is when you have 3 cards of one kind and 2 of another. 3 jacks, 2 kings, that sort of thing. 3 sevens, 2 fours. And so we could also say you have a full house if you've got like one of every different kind of thing you're trying to collect.
Oh, okay.
If you're trying to, we need bit of this, bit of this, bit of this. Okay, full house. We got everything.
We got everything we need.
So it's an expression that just shows you have the right number of everything you need.
Right, and you're not looking for more because you're all set.
There are many, many, many card games out there that have all kinds of different language associated with them. Some of them do turn up quite a lot in non-card game life, so do make an effort to learn a few different ones. It's useful and it's a bit of fun just to have some of these idioms that you can use. But that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for watching, everyone. For English for You, I'm Pat.
I'm Mike.
We'll talk to you again soon. Bye.
Take care.
Vocabulary Review. Rank. Because Stacy is very smart and works hard, she ranks first in her class. Advantage. Leroy has an advantage when he plays basketball because he's usually the tallest player. Dessert. We had salad, soup, and sandwiches for dinner and strawberry cake for dessert. Argument. Tom and Billy had an argument about whose turn it was to take out the garbage. Origin. The origin of Isidore's interest in dance was watching the movement of the waves on the beach. Remaining. Most of the guests left the party at midnight, and the remaining ones left at around 2 a.m.
智慧小补帖
Deceit. Idiom. Refer to somebody or something. Contest. Poker.
以上节目是由活用空中美语制作。活用空中美语杂志，请洽询全国各大书店。如欲索取试听教材，请来电02-2364-4000 02-2364-4000，或上网查询，网址是 www.english4u.net www.english4u.net